Trains are delayed. We've been looking at the chaos on the roads as well. And Ben's been looking at your rights for cancelled flights, holidays and other plans.
Yeah, all sorts of things. Thanks, guys. Morning to you too. Yeah, the warning for many, of course, has been to not travel unless strictly necessary. But what if you had flights or holidays booked? Well, the consumer expert, Kate Hardcastle, is with me to talk us through some of the details. Kate, morning to you. I know you've had a pretty tough trip in as well, so thank you for making it. Let's start, first of all, with flights and holidays, because that's been a big thing for many people who can't get to the airports. You know, Graham says to me, he lives in Newcastle, he booked a stay down in Poole, and he says due to the weather they couldn't travel. I mean, when you've got a holiday plan or a hotel, even if it's in the UK, what are your rights?
There are so many different elements to this, and we haven't got too long this morning. So firstly, flights. Although the weather means that you won't get any compensation, they have a duty of care to look after you. So you can get refunds, you can get alternate flights. Obviously, it depends whether you're going on a quick 2-day trip to Paris, to a long-haul flight. Duty of care whilst you're there if you've got severe delays like food and drinks and hotels. If it's a package holiday, again, different set of rights because it's a package. Therefore, you deal with your tour operator and they'll advise you on what you do. You might want a full refund, a rebook, or you might actually want to go at a later time if the opportunity is there.
So in Graham's case, he says, look, the company has refused because he booked it with an advanced booking thing. And that is one of the issues, isn't it? It's going to be depending on the terms and conditions of how you booked it.
So this is a UK hotel and they've done an advance, a saver rate booking, and that does mean that you take some chances with that. Now, I'm reading online that some operators, some organisations are being good enough to work with the consumers on finding some solutions, a bit of goodwill there, but it doesn't mean you always do. You've got to constantly keep checking terms and conditions, and this is where phone, emails, printers are your friend. Get all the data, get all the details together.
Meryl says she was due to fly to Tenerife from Cardiff. She said she heeded all the advice not to travel to the airport. Is she covered with travel insurance?
Generally, yes, you will be, but check your terms and conditions. And additionally, things like your banks may have additional cover, so check with your bank if your account actually applies to anything.
Now let's move on to deliveries. If you're waiting at home and you're hoping that someone's going to deliver a parcel or maybe something that you've ordered online and it doesn't show up, what are your rights there? Because you might have taken the day off work to wait for it.
So your online supermarket shopping, all of the major operators are saying we will do everything that we can to get it to you, but we're not duty bound. We're not going to put our staff at risk, which makes good sense. You can, of course, cancel those orders. And ditto with online deliveries. Even though you might have booked next day, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get it. And they've got terms and conditions to protect them. You have got a 30-day window, but you can cancel the order at any time and you can return the goods, obviously, as well.
OK, that's good to know. And let's talk about events. So things perhaps that you might be hoping to go to, a concert or a performance of some sort, and you can't get there. What are your rights as far as that's concerned?
So generally speaking, keep talking to the operators, keep talking to the promotion and concert venues and understand if the event's still going ahead. But if they can get musicians and bands there, they're going to see that all their audience, if the show's going ahead, should have a reasonable chance of getting there too. If you've got some you know, travel issues, you need to put safety first. But what I would say is if you want to try and then keep going with the application of goodwill, maybe print out all of the details of why you couldn't get there, see if someone will do something on and maybe another date, but they're not duty bound to do that.
So it's so interesting, isn't it? It's all about the small print, but also about a lot of goodwill. Yeah. We know there's a lot of goodwill as far as things like the emergency services and people helping out other people. Let's hope it also applies to business as well. Kate, thank you. Really grateful for you making the effort to come. Kate Hardcastle there.